we should bring the meeting to order. So I'll call the meeting to order. And the first thing to do is act on the agenda. Does anybody have anything they want to add, or?
I move that we act on the agenda as it is written.
I second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The next thing to do is act on the minutes.
I move that we accept the minutes as written for July 18th.
I second it.
28th.
I'm sorry, 28th.
I second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, public comment.
Would that be us, public comment?
Oh, yeah. We talked about this at town meeting, about the pushing the snow in the cemetery. On East Hill, all right? I was 8 to 10 feet tall there. I said, there's no reason in the world why I should bury the cemetery. And they could push the snow across the street. They plow a big spot at the foot of East Hill on the side of the road for people that can't make it up the hill. That's a good spot. But you go up the road a little bit further where the town used to pile the sand alongside the river, you plow all that out. I have no problem with that either. But I can't see why they can't do that in front of the East Hill Cemetery instead of burying it with 10 feet of snow. Okay? We talked about this.
I just had a question. I have a question sort of around this. Is that what you're saying is you don't want that happening?
Well, it's disrespect to the people that are buried there.
No, I agree. So, Charlie, what's happening up there?
Not sure. We've never pushed snow onto stones, nor would we.
Could it be drifting because of this?
No, we pushed it. What happens is that entire flat has drifted there for years.
Right, I mean, could it be just a natural
we-
drift, is what I'm wondering.
No, it gets pushed up because you have to do something with it. And if you push it up on that side of the road, the wind carries the snow then off the top of those tall banks like he's talking. And most of it goes across the road. We tried to plow to the right a number of years ago, a number of boards ago, and it builds up behind it and works back towards the road, so it doesn't work well.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know, I don't think there's a cure-all for it, but as far as being disrespectful, we're just pushing snow up. Nobody can visit the cemetery in the winter months, and we're not putting any snow on stones.
Yeah, we went and looked. I forget who went and took pictures. Someone from the board went, took pictures. There was no snow on any stones, Hank.
It doesn't make any difference. It doesn't make any difference.
I disagree, Hank, because
I do
we
too.
are not disrespecting a single person by having a snowbank in front of a cemetery.
When it's 10 feet high and there's only 6 inches of snow on the other side of the road,
I don't understand the concept behind your reasoning.
that's not it's disrespect to the people that are buried there.
To have
If they want to
snow,
push the snow 10 feet higher, once you go beyond 125 feet to the front of that cemetery, that's fine. That's fine, but that's absolutely shameful to do that. And there's no reason in the world why they have to push the snow that way when they can push it across the street for 125 feet and leave a spot that if somebody wanted to park there and go for a walk across the $1 million view, they can park there. You open up plenty of places in town to do that. What's wrong with doing that spot? It's showing a little respect for the dead people.
Okay,
Okay?
lower your tone, Hank. We're not fighting here, we're discussing.
Yes,
All right? Now, I think you're alone
I don't think I'm alone.
in your view of disrespect to people in the cemetery.
What do you think, Rob?
Well, what I think is plow the snow, and at the end of the storm, you get done salting and sanding, and take a loader up there and move it down the road a little ways, so it doesn't get piled up like that.
You think it's important to remove snow so that people can see the cemetery and that allows them to respect the dead? Is that what you think?
I'm concerned about the amount of work that we're asking Charlie to take on because you feel that we're being disrespectful to the cemetery when Charlie has said and stated that they are not putting snow on any of the stones. It's just a higher snowbank than what you would like to see. And I don't like I see your point. Okay, we could go and then turn around and get the loader up there, but you have to bring the loader up there. I mean, if we did this for every place that said you're having trouble with the height of the snowbank, that Charlie be chasing around snowbanks all winter long.
Well, what happens is they have to go around with the grader and wing it back, and when they go by there, they can just bring it down the road with the blade, and then push it off down the road. They'll be up there already.
See, you weren't here in the brown shoe days when all that snow across the flats was pushed the other way. It was pushed well into the field across the street, and there was only 6 inches of snow.
Isn't the field across
where
the
the
street?
snowbank is now.
Doesn't the
They
field
used-
across
they
the
used to push it,
street
well, I had
have
the same as well.
fencing?
What,
And
what I was told years ago is they push it like 100 feet. Actually, Robert may know. They used to push it well into the field. And
And
when the board asked that we plow it to the right, I talked to Maya, who hazed that, and she didn't want the snow pushed that far across because you tear her hayfields up. So we tried it, 20 feet off the road or 10 feet off the road or whatever the case may be. And as the wind always blows from the same direction, 99% of the time,
Right.
as I was saying, if you have snowbanks on the right side of the road and the wind is blowing from left to right, it then stops at the snowbank and works back towards the road.
Yep.
So it's a never-ending battle.
The
That's
hard
true.
thing about that spot, Hank, is that the snow meets the woods right there, and it's the highest strip in the whole flat. Been driving back and forth quite a lot in the last few years.
If it got to a point where it was going to be close to the stones, then we would have to go up with the
Right.
loader and move it. But until that happens, I honestly don't see that we have the means to go up after every snowstorm and move that little bit of snow so it doesn't build up.
well, thank you.
Does it steer easier to go to the left than it does to the right?
The wings on the truck are directed off the passenger side, so when you plow, we have
When you go up the hill, you start from this side and you can shove it just in front of the cemetery. That's 125 feet. Instead of burying it,
We're approaching our cutoff time for this topic. So, Susan.
Just while you guys are here, I want to really thank you from the bottom of my heart for pushing us to fix the Middletown Cemetery access. It makes a huge difference. It's really beautiful.
you did a beautiful job on that.
It never would have happened because, I didn't have the vision to think, well, this could be so much more wonderful. It's really special.
You did a wonderful job. It only took 4 years, but they got it done.
But it's because you kept after us.
Yeah. Good
Thank
things
you
come
for
to those
keeping
who wait,
after us
right?
about that.
It's been a long time waiting, but they did a good job.
Yeah.
Because you're here, I received a bill to sign today for trees cutting that was done at the cemetery, and it puts us, or puts you two, or you're the commissioner, right at the you're pushing the limit on your budget for the year. So are you, I'm just curious, are you keeping track of that so that the mowing, so you don't go over budget this year with mowing and all that?
Well, Chris was here a few years ago when we started taking care of these trees. I still don't have any money.
I understand that, Hank.
The town took care of it. And when we did that, we did Hilltop. East Hill first, then we did Hill, and then we went up and did Middletown. But a lot of those trees that we had to clean up were where they fixed the parking spot. And
So,
that's town land.
right, so I'm asking you a simple question because we can't spend a lot of our meeting with
Yeah,
this. I'm
I
asking you if
understand
you're
that.
keeping track of the budget, and it's a two-part question. because I didn't sign the check to pay that yet because I wanted to make sure that we stay on budget because we do not have more money to put into that budget right now. We just don't. So I'm encouraging you to keep a close eye on that because there's not much left in your cemetery fund because that was a pretty big bill. Personally, I would have liked to have seen you reach out to other people and see if there was somebody that would have done it a little bit cheaper.
Didn't you
but I
say they
understand
couldn't find
that's-
anybody else to do it?
There's somebody that lives right down in Chester that does that kind of
The guy
work.
does it.
There's lots of
We
people
put it
that
out
do.
for bids. And the guy specializes in cemeteries, does a good job.
I'm sure he does a good job, but
Yeah.
my question is to be aware that you're so close to
Well, I got
your
that-
budget, so to keep an eye on that.
She sent
if
me
you
a
could.
letter.
Yeah.
About, that we used up
Yeah,
90% of the money.
right,
And
so
I
I'm
didn't
worried
even know
about
we
that,
had-
yeah,
I didn't even know I had that much money.
Yeah.
Because all we get is $3,000 to take care of 3 cemeteries.
I understand that, but with our
And we're
new
gonna talk about this
taxes,
at number
yeah.
7. But we won't take any more time about this.
Thank you.
I wanted to
so,
gripe about, we'll talk about that afterwards, about the snow.
What does it cost per mowing for the cemeteries?
it, what was it?
They do it every 2 weeks, right?
Yeah,
No,
we've actually asked them to,
He looks at it.
As needed, kinda, right?
right,
As needed,
Yes.
okay.
but I
Well,
think
it should be, but they've been mowing every week and it's really expensive.
it's very expensive, and we need to, like I said, there could come a bill that that you have no more funding for, and we don't have the money in our budget for it. So that's what I'm asking you to be aware of that. I did give you a grant, a paper for a grant. Did you ever look into that? Because that was for cutting trees and cemetery work.
That was for fixing the headstones.
There was
the
other
town did
grants with
this.
that, yeah.
I talked to Jonathan, they went through this quite a few years ago. And it cost them, they had like $5,000 and they only fixed a couple of stones, it wasn't even worth fixing.
Yeah.
So they've seen this movie.
I understood there were other
That's what it
grants
was.
along
And then a
with
few
that.
years ago, there was another thing about the trees. So we investigated in that because they were gonna pay half of it, but it had to be ash trees.
Right, yeah, I was aware of that, it was ash trees.
Remember that? So I mean, that meant nothing. So did anybody go and look at those 2 cemeteries that we took care of the other day?
No one was aware you did them,
Right,
hey?
you didn't
No.
come to the board and say anything about doing those. And how much was the bill? 4,000 something?
$4,800.
$4,800
Yeah.
for the tree, for cutting of the
I was
trees.
right there with him.
So, what happened with the wood? What did they do with all the?
He's been
I took
picking
some.
it up and I think,
There's still,
Maya's probably gonna get some of it. We told her the last time, the first time we took care of the trees around the stones. She took the stone, she took the wood.
Yep.
So it was, it wasn't cut, it was cut so a man could pick it up, 4-foot pieces. It
Yeah.
wasn't cut, personally for somebody's stove.
so how much are they charging for each week?
Heald Cemetery per week is $80, East Hill is $70, and Middletown's up to $110. So
So that's
that's quite a bit higher than last year. So for the month of
260.
June, we paid $810. For the month of July, it was $520. And I have asked them to only do Middletown once a month because my understanding is it's not really grass, it's a lot of moss. And it doesn't need to be done every week, and they did it 3 times both months.
Okay.
So I've asked them to cut that back, and if you think it makes sense, then we'll ask them to cut back on a couple of the others. And it's so dry right now, I cannot imagine any of them are going to need mowing for at least a couple more weeks.
So from what the paper said that you gave Hank, there's $1,500 left.
In the bank account, yep.
Okay. So we got 2.5 months to go. So
Right.
it'll be close.
It'll be
We're gonna
close.
sell,
But just have them cut down to.
a lot tomorrow, and
Well, that will
then
help,
another
sir.
one's coming. And
So that will help,
So the
sir.
2 lots
Yeah.
gonna be sold.
Right.
So
Okay,
how-
so if you could just keep an eye on that and make sure that
Right.
we don't go over budget.
Well, that was
would be
it.
great,
That-
yeah.
That's it. That was the project, and they said that at town meeting, that was gonna happen, is you can't get these people to do this kind of work. It's very expensive, and it's dangerous work.
I know of a few companies
You know.
that do it. I mean, I personally know somebody that does it for a living.
Yeah.
So there are companies out there. There are quite a few
If you go in the
actually.
Hill Cemetery, you're gonna see
So-
one stump about 25, 30 feet tall, with no branches on it, just this big pole. There's
Okay,
a flying squirrels have a nest right in the top of it. So it was just gray
So
squirrels, they
like
had to cut it down, but it was very rare flying squirrels, so it's
well, I'm
still
glad you
sitting there.
saved the flying squirrels. Okay, so we should probably move on to highway. I'm glad you saved the squirrels.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for that.
Are there other public comments? Okay.
So now we're at our highway and garage. Do we want to do our road classification first? Charlie and Chris, you want to talk to us about that?
I wasn't here last meeting, so you have to take me up to speed.
We postponed till this week.
What's that?
We pushed it till today.
Okay, oh, you pushed it.
We didn't, because you weren't here,
Right.
so we decided to wait until you were able to be here to.
Okay.
So some of our questions, and I'd like everybody to join in on this on the board because we've all been kind of part of this for a while, is the roads that are our class 3s that we're looking at and whether or not they are true class 3 roads, what it would take to bring them up to that. We're just kind of, we're mulling back and forth of what it is we're looking at for the roads that we're thinking about reclassifying, why that is, and what the cost to bring them up to specs versus the cost to make them a class 4 road. So we're kind of needing your expertise on
To bring
that.
them up, I mean, they all vary so much with the ones we've been looking at. But it's usually width and then a decent way to get turned around for the most part for class 3. The width being 2 passenger cars should be able to pass each other. Some of the roads they have been able to, and we've decided to reclassify. Others we've kept as class 3s, I think. But as far as the cost associated with it, again, the varying degree of each road is going to have its own challenges.
So what we've done in the past is, just to refresh Rich and Chris, because they haven't been here for this, is we would go and we'd look at the roads individually and look at them with Charlie and drive them and kind of get a better grasp on what we're looking at because they are so individualized. But with that in mind, thinking what Charlie's telling us about how much work would we have to do to bring it up to a true class 3. Is it something that the town wants to continue to plow or maintain, or is it something that should be brought down to a class 4? And do the people that live on it, would they prefer that it even become their private road? We have a lot of different options that we can work with. So my thought is at this point we're probably at a stage of, and tell me if any of you disagree with me on this, of picking a few roads to go and look at and moving forward with what our feelings are on those. Susan?
Charlie, do you have a couple of, do you have a recommendation of a couple that seem particularly problematic to you?
The one off the top of my head would be Simmons Road, just because of all the flood damage. The others, they're just so individualized, it's hard to kind of prioritize them. I know we have done in the past, we've looked at one-house roads with the property owner owning most or all of the property on both sides of the road and use that kind of as a priority. So I don't know if we want to continue with that or not. And without looking at the list, thinking, I guess I can't think of another one off the top of my head.
Well,
I
mine.
know, like, if Carol's comes up at some point, I know just to throw it out there like that, box culvert's gonna have to be installed, and I think she's aware of that too, so they're in the engineering phases right now. When I met with the engineer there, because there is a residence on that road, he really wants to, and is designing at this point, a temporary bridge to get through the construction. And I don't know if they would necessarily need that, but that's gonna add a tremendous amount of cost for that job for their residents.
Which road is this?
Davis Road?
Right.
And are we able
They're
to
putting it in a box culvert, is that what I hear?
So when the flood came through, their existing culvert, or not the existing, the pre-flood culvert failed. So
Right.
we replaced it with one the same size. And the hydraulic study came back, it's way undersized. So we put in, I believe, a 5-foot heavy-duty plastic culvert in there, spec'd out something like an 8 or 9 foot wide box culvert there. I don't know the specifics on what they use other than the bank width of the stream coming into it, they use as an average. I don't know what else goes into it. Total watershed is another thing. It does have an enormous amount of watershed to it. So it's gonna be a sizable job.
And so would your suggestion be that we can we get grants for that?
We do have
We have grants for all of that. We have grants for the bridge and all the work that needs to be done.
We
So-
never got a bid on the Boynton Bridge. We had a grant for it that was running out. So we asked if we could move it to the Davis Road project to cover the funds for that. They were okay with
So it sounds like it would be a good idea to put her road on hold right now because there's so much work. Is
that.
that what you're saying?
For sure.
Is there so much work to put the thought of that road on hold until the work gets done?
Right.
Yes.
So I just had a question. So Charlie had mentioned that in past years, you were looking at properties, one house, roads that had one property on it. And then last meeting, we said that wasn't really the focus. It was more that the state had asked you to look at all the class 3 roads and see what needed to be done to bring it up to code, and if that was too much, should it be reclassified?
It's a little bit of both.
Okay.
It really is. It's a mixture of all of the above because the state did say that we needed to reclassify our roads. We needed to bring them up to class 3 specs
So
or
my question
reclassify
is,
them.
which maybe Charlie can answer, is once the box culvert's put in, do you feel that the road is up to class 3 standards in terms of places to put the snow and turnarounds?
Places to put the snow, yes. It wouldn't be wide. It'd have to be widened. And then I think we've always turned around in your dooryard.
Yeah,
It gets difficult, especially later in the year. It gets difficult there. It has for a long time. So maybe construction of a turnaround down across from the one tree down below the shed, I guess by your shed.
yeah.
Something maybe in there, we would have to do something like that to make it a little more convenient, and then let Chuck kind of take care of that little bit of slope going up into your driveway.
Right.
Rather than, because now we push between the garage and the house, and
Right.
back around in front of the garage, and it's usually a 3 or 4 point turnabout to get out of there. One of these days, something probably will happen. It hasn't yet, but we continue to get that close to your structures. So it's just something to consider.
Okay.
So that road is, if I'm correct, it's Coder?
No,
Davis.
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 And how long do you,
0.15. 0.15 of a
Yeah.
mile.
So,
Chris has a question.
I don't have the actual statutes from Vermont. I looked them up earlier and it said this is unofficial, but it was a copy of the statutes. It said depending on the grade of the road, if it was over 14 degrees, it had to be 2 cars wide, but had to be passable year round, and it had to be 14 feet wide.
Oh, 14, if they
14
put,
feet is what it. Now it's all
all I use
unofficial.
is the orange book, so we just.
And
have
maybe you have much
dates.
better info than what I could find online.
No, that's
but-
more specific than what we have.
Yeah,
There's no
and then-
widths there. It's just easily traveled by passenger car.
There was some culvert, minimum of 18-inch culvert, depending on grade, and
Right.
that all changed. But
18 inch culverts is the minimum now, the standard
Right,
as a cross culvert on a town road.
so.
Did you have something?
Yeah, it seems to me that there are different issues, like the state. There's the fact that we're a town and we collect tax money and we spend a lot of it or most of it, besides the schools, on roads. And so it seems to me the select board actually has a lot of discretion as to which roads we want to look at. And so I'm concerned that Codere Road is, I would like to, like, it's not, I don't think, for me, I would say it's not just one house, it's like a lot of different property owners. Like, to me, what defines a private driveway is, in my head, that's kind of what I boil down to, has only one property owner, like, say, like Red Top. So I guess if we want to talk about Codere Road, that's got 4 property owners, but is that road not up to specs?
Again, it's the width. Actually happened to me quite a few times. You meet somebody out there, one of you is backing up, and usually it's us, because we're pretty good at backing up if we had to, rather than having a car back up.
Given that there's so many different property owners, like, do you have an idea of what it would cost to get that road up to specs?
I don't. You'd have to figure man hours and materials just to get a rough ballpark. It's something I could try to figure out roughly.
Because it's a lot easier for me to wrap my head around working on the roads that literally have one house, one property owner owns the whole way. It seems a simpler thing.
You mean to consider
In terms of, like, just for me, I have to have my own internal yardsticks because it's not the most pleasant job I've ever been involved in.
Oh, of course.
And so one of my kind of yardsticks that I just have used for myself in the work that we did before, every single road is completely different, but it made a difference for me thinking that it was just this road served just one owner. But that isn't necessarily any kind of a yardstick. I mean, there are no yardsticks really except the state.
You have more than one owner, you make it a class 4, you still have access.
Mm-hmm.
Just not maintained in order.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I have a couple different thoughts on that. So if there's 4 property owners, say, and it turns into a class 4 road, then those 4 property owners share the cost of the maintenance of the road. So it brings down the cost. So it depends on how you look at it. If you have, multiple people that.
But when you have 4 owners of the land, but only 1 resident,
Right.
you're going to be putting it all on the one
You're gonna put it
person.
on the one person.
I after the last meeting, just because it's on the way home, I went down Codere. It's smoother than my driveway. It might be slightly narrower than what it's supposed to be, but it's pretty darn close.
We literally cut that whole road back. We ditched it and sure packed that whole road a number of years ago.
It's in good shape.
Yeah, we invested quite a bit of money into it, but we haven't had to do much to it since then.
It's pretty flat.
Yeah.
There's definitely no big hills, and none on the left
just
or the
long
right.
and skinny.
It's just long and fairly narrow. Yeah. I wanted to recommend we remove that from the list, but I haven't looked at the other ones, so I'm not putting those down or up, or just that was on my way home. And then after I looked up, I don't know if it's 14 feet or 12 and a half feet wide, but it's not 8 feet wide either. It's pretty close to what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, if indeed it's that number 14 or whatever you found.
But so for me, and I'm not saying we shouldn't remove it from the list, but I think that the board would need to look at it as a whole because I haven't driven it. I don't believe that, I don't know, Melissa, have you and Rich, have you?
No.
But I do hear what you're saying, and I think that that's something we, it is entirely possible on any of these. We have done that typically what we do is we go and do a site visit, and when we look at these roads, that's when we make that decision as to, do we keep it a 3, do we make it a 4, and the people are usually there, whomever road it is, and they weigh in on it too. So it's not something we do at the table without everyone being there at the road themselves and taking a look at it. Does that sound like it works for you? If that's
It's fine.
Well, I think it's important to note that we are legally required, I think, to warn a site visit
Yeah.
and send a letter,
Right.
and there's a whole procedure.
So my thought, and I'll get with you in just a moment, that if you're recommending we take that off the list, it may actually be one that we should look at first, so that we can start that process. Because I don't feel comfortable taking it off the list without looking. I don't even, if you ask me to describe to you what it looks like, or have I ever driven, I'd have to say no, I never have. So I can't even make a feasible decision around this table
I've
right
never
now.
been down it before.
Yeah.
I understand.
No, but that's how we've customarily done our site visit and then make the decision. But at the same time, and we're speaking of your road right now, my concern is that if we're going to indeed be doing work to that road that needs to be done, the culvert needs to be taken care of, the box culvert needs to go in, a bridge needs to go in, I don't know if we should put it on the list right now.
No,
I think it should wait until later. But I don't think we can take it off the list without actually going and doing a site visit. Does that make sense?
I think if
So-
we're in agreement, we can.
Yeah. Well, if we haven't gone and looked at it, go ahead, Melissa, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to sort of remind us as a group, and you guys not, but the select board prior to you two, we went through 3 or 4 roads, and we did the same thing every time. We went and did a site visit. After we did the site visit, Charlie's always at the site visit, and Charlie can point out to us what's going on with this road, kind of the why of it. What is Andover gonna have to do every year to take care of this road and make sure it's to where the state wants it? And we've used the same criteria on every single place. So I don't feel comfortable trying to change the criteria when we've already done this 4 or 5 times and had different outcomes. They've all been different outcomes.
They've all had different outcomes, I agree, and we have done the same process.
The same process.
And I think that that's only fair, even to the landowners,
Yes.
to, because anybody can come in here and say, well, we want you to vote this way without us looking at it. How are we to make a good decision?
Would it be wise, and maybe you guys aren't allowed to do this, but would it be wise for you to visit the list and then we all kind of prioritize, rather than waiting and saying, Charlie, what do you think? And then we go look at one road. Because this is weighing on my mind, because I literally had to drive all the way over to Christmas Tree Road the other day. And that one was it's only 200 yards long, to drive into Wyndham to get to it, and the board decided to keep it.
Right.
Which is fine, nothing to me at all. But, so things that I think may not necessarily, because at the end of the day, it's entirely up to you guys as a board.
Go ahead, Chris.
If that's the process we want to follow, one, we got to stop randomly adding more roads. We need to give the list that we want to Charlie and say that we need to know what these are going to cost, and we need to schedule the site visit before we even put it back on the agenda. Or we're just wasting our time.
Right,
Because now we're just,
pondering.
we're without we don't have anything to go on other than.
Right.
That's why I was wondering if you could visit the list. If it has to be during a meeting, I understand. If not, if you could go individually and check out the roads and then chime in, like
Right.
Chris just said, it was on my mind, so I checked out to their road. And they had good input to put in at tonight's meeting, but none of the rest of the board really know the road or know what he's
Right.
talking about.
Right.
Well, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, you are, so.
So, but Jeanette, we have to warn, anytime we do a site visit, we can't just do blanket site visits, right? Unless we're gonna warn, because we have to warn
If
the
we're
landowners.
going to make a decision, I think we have to warn it.
You would warn it if you're going to make a decision based on the site visit. If you're simply going so everybody starts from the same place back at a public meeting, so you can prioritize or make a decision as to whether to remove
Yeah.
something from the list. It's different than a site visit to then come to a hearing to say we are taking action on road A or B.
The other thing I would say, I was gonna ask Charlie about what Chris just said, where we don't add anything more to this list.
I don't think if we stick with kind of the one house roads that you guys asked me for at the beginning, I think we're there. I think
Okay, that was
I think
my
the
question.
list- I mean, I don't think there's anything to add. I mean, this is kind of what the board wanted, and this is what I came up with.
Okay.
Roads that we wanted to look at. I know when we looked at Old Gulf Road, they had asked, they're okay with the decision, they didn't really like it, but they wanted it to be even through the town, they wanted us to look at other similar roads. So I think that's kind of what got this spurred up, as well as state requirements and funds going in on an annual basis from the town for maintenance and whatnot. I mean, there's a lot of things involved.
So I'm wondering if we follow suit with what Chris has suggested and we just kind of go drive these roads ourselves. I'm a little apprehensive about not warning a site visit prior to us actually making a decision. I don't think that we should look at these roads and then come back to the table and make a decision.
No, I don't
Because we
think you
do,
can.
I don't think we can
but
do that.
anyone can drive a road. It's a
But we
town road.
Drive a
can, we
road
can
and then
go
come back
drive the
and
road,
discuss
come
it.
back,
Right,
discuss
then
the road,
decide
and
what
then
you
a
want
site
to do.
visit. Does that sound like something?
It's fine.
So,
Or plan the site visits and we can make it, if we can't, we can't.
yeah,
And-
so,
And knock them out.
right, because we're going around circles.
Yeah. And as I stated before, if we're gonna reclassify a road, good faith on my end, I feel like culverts need to be good.
Right,
The road's gotta be in good shape. So if you guys are considering a road that I might not be aware of, then, and I have a bit of work to do to get it to that point, then we all kind of need, as well as the board, all have to be on the same page as far as what roads we're looking at.
so what direction would the board like to go on this? Does anybody want to make a motion?
I don't wanna make a motion yet, but would it be feasible to have, with these 5 roads, Charlie could, in the 2-week time period, could you come up with a rough estimate on what it would cost to get those back in?
Do my best,
Okay.
yeah, before next meeting, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then you wouldn't necessarily have to be here as long as we had those numbers,
that's fine.
and so I would make a motion that we get that information from Charlie for the next meeting, and that we schedule site visit. I don't care if we get 1, 2, 3, maybe do the, whatever, Davis Road, Codere, those are 2 I would like to prioritize. But if we could do all, just do start scheduling some
Start
site
scheduling
visits.
site visits.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So Charlie, thank you. If you can get that to us, that would be great.
Sure.
And once again, here you are at our meeting. I'm so sorry.
No, but this is very fun.
Process.
It is. This is a really difficult process, this part of our.
Jeanette's hand is up.
Oh, go ahead.
We have a letter that needs to be read from the residents at the end of Codere Road, please. Thanks.
Rich,
I can find it, yeah.
it's right here.
All right,
You're
here we go.
gonna be more eloquent.
Dear members of the Select Board, we are writing to express our concern about the potential reclassification of Codere Road. We wish we were able to attend this meeting in person or even on Zoom, but we're on a backpacking trip in Maine and will be unplugged for a week. As we mentioned at the meeting on July 28th, there are a few points we're asking you to please consider. There are 3 other sets of landowners whose properties are accessed by Codere Road: Jeff and Tina Patch, Vermont Land Trust, and Maya Dobush and Jesse Martell. In addition to terminating at our property, the road has served multiple landowners, past and present, over the years in various ways. Several years ago, for example, it was used for logging access and a log landing. Reclassifying the road will impact multiple families and could potentially create confusion around accessibility and road maintenance obligations. Before Chris and I purchased the property in 1999, we were told by Linda Bargefriede and Kevin Baker that Codere Road is a Class 3 road and would therefore be maintained by the town. With that information, we decided to build our small home close to the end of the road, of the town road, in the footprint of the historic homestead. Had we known the road could potentially be reclassified, we would have made a more prudent decision to build our home much closer to Steinley Road. What we weren't able to share at the last meeting, however, is a little bit about our story. Before building our home, we needed approval for our property to be subdivided from the Vermont Land Trust parcel. Although the subdivision was quickly approved, a couple select board members expressed some concerns. Their concerns had to do with the easements that a prior landowner and VLT had placed on the property. When we asked for more details, both of them were worried about more and more resources being lost to the community. Their words made an impact on us. Throughout our time here, we've reflected on those words and what we could do to make our land accessible to the greater community. As we mentioned at the last meeting, our land is not posted and our trails are open to hikers, bikers, horseback riders, hunters, bikers, horseback riders, hikers, and skiers. Codere Road serves as the access for our neighbors and the greater community utilizing these resources. In addition to the community's use of this road, we have also offered various programs and workshops over the years designed to deepen people's connections to the natural world. Chris has led programs, for example, such as winter wildlife tracking and forestry workshops. Meg has led summer camps, homeschooling cooperatives, and children's nature programs. Again, the town-maintained road has made these endeavors possible. As we get closer to approaching retirement age, we are now being faced with the possibility that we won't be able to afford to retire here on this land we love so dearly. We know our story is one of many, and you are obligated to balance our story with what is best for our entire town. However, we ask that you consider all the ramifications that might occur due to Codere Road being downlisted. Thank you so much for your time and consideration, Meg Minen and Chris Bernier.
That was the couple that was here at the last meeting. Thank you for reading that. So we've made a motion to look at the different roads. Charlie's gonna look into the cost to bring those up to, a rough estimate. And then we'll revisit that the next meeting, which I will not be here for. So, I know I won't be here. So you guys, you can all decide what direction you wanna go with at that point, without me, or push it to the next meeting if you'd like. You will decide
Yeah.
when that meeting comes.
Okay.
But I did want to let you all know that I won't be here for the next meeting.
Okay.
All right. I could try and Zoom it, but I don't think I'd be able to.
That'll be all right.
Yeah, okay. Now we're going to move on to the road commissioner's report. So who wants to talk first? So we had, you want me to start
Sure, go ahead.
speaking? I had talked to Charlie earlier today, or earlier this week, and Chris, about, we had discussed Chris talking to Charlie about becoming the road foreman. And, well, do you want to tell everybody what your thoughts were on that?
I said I'd take on the responsibility. I think it's gonna be kind of a process, but, hopefully Chris can give me some input. He basically said, just have to hound the people over the grants and whatnot. And I think Vermont Leagues of Cities and Towns, by the sound, had said they're willing to help out to a certain degree. I don't think we know exactly what that is yet, but definitely being helpful.
And so, yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
We really do appreciate, I mean, I can say for myself, I really do appreciate that. We may have to think about really hounding, on these grants and keep them going, and we don't want to add too much to Charlie's plate because that's a lot. So hopefully we the board can also kind of help out in that process of keeping our grants, because I understand without the grants we wouldn't get box culverts and bridges and things like that. So it's really important that we are able to get them. And that's a lot of work, as you all know. With the MERC grant, you can see how much work it is to do a grant. I never realized how much.
They totally rely on the planning commission,
We can,
Mark?
we can totally rely on them.
no.
No, you can't totally rely on
Yeah.
them.
They started, they said we were gonna get a grant for little town over, and that's done right now.
Do you think that it was due to timing and that we lost, it wasn't in there on time, or somebody wasn't keeping an eye on it, or?
They had lost the guy that was supposed to be working on it. Because, in my opinion, they're gonna had something to do with it.
So the person that was supposed to do it, they no longer had, so fell through the cracks. So I guess
It was
that's.
supposed to be high priority, and they said that when the state looked at it, Chris, I can't remember exactly how the email was written, that it no longer fell in the high risk category.
Huh.
I think it said they were looking at endanger another structure.
Right.
That was the criteria.
And initially it was high priority.
Yeah.
So I guess we're going with that, is that that's a lot for Charlie to keep track of that as well, but we'll have to do the best we can to help him out with that.
Is there a way of helping with knowledge transfer as far as, like, right now, that's just a black box for me, the road grant. Road and
Me
highway
too, I know of,
grant things, it's just a black box that I haven't opened yet. I have no idea what's in there. But I think the board should, if we're going to help Charlie, we should know more than we currently know.
Right.
And so I'd be interested in whatever knowledge transfer is available regarding that. Just the agencies that are involved, the type of grants, maybe we could look at a historical approach, like what has been done over the last year, for example. And those would be examples that we could look at. Just ideas about how to be a better informed select board member.
a lot of the grants are very specific, where I thought they were more vague, on just learning from what Chris has said through the years, picking up on different things that we've done. There's a lot available, but they're kind of like what the cemetery commission was saying.
They're very
They're
specific
very,
to
like
each.
ash trees only or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you really have to kind of know what you're looking for a particular job.
And that's where we can rely on the Mark to help us out with that, but we need to also kind of be a squeaky wheel to keep the ball rolling and keep our town on the list. Am I correct?
Yeah. There's a couple of good resources and grants in the bigger towns. It's kind of like the peanut underneath the cup. You just shuffle them all the time, and there's always something new.
Okay.
And other programs that change and go away.
I like the ideas that you come up with, though, because it is important for us to be more knowledgeable in all of this. Do you have anything else to add to the?
Fuller sand and gravel?
What's that?
Fuller sand and gravel?
He hadn't got back to me. I know he's done Andover Road. That looks like it's completed. So he said 2 weeks when I talked to him before, and it's been a month.
They're doing Ludlow right now.
Yeah, and he said 2 weeks of night paving there, but I don't believe they're paving in the night, so I don't exactly know. I may could reach out to him again.
What, didn't we give them a kind of a deadline in the
Yeah,
contract?
there is on that paving grant, and I don't remember exactly when it was.
So we pushed it off till October though, knowing that his schedule might be,
Probably.
Okay.
I'm sure it wasn't August because.
It wasn't
I
like
think it was
September?
August.
Okay.
No,
I know we wanted it done before October though, right? Or like,
I believe so. So I think we wanted the culvert installs by the second week of July, and then we gave him a bit of time so Fuller could come in and do his work.
for what it's worth, the paving looks pretty good in Ludlow.
Yeah, I know. He does nice work.
I mean, when he gets here, it's gonna look good.
Right. So one thing quick before we get off it, I did the math wrong on our rental as far as times for the excavator. It was up today, and I had the end of this week. is it possible to rent for another week? It'll be $1,850, so we can do that 3-foot culvert and 2-foot culvert that we were gonna do. If not, he'll be coming to get it. I don't know if we can get him with the backhoe easily, but we got one on Steinley to do, we got one on East Hill to do.
Is that part of grants and aid or no?
No, it's not. No,
What
the
do we
grants and
have?
aid work, other than a little bit of the riprap, is about complete, and a little bit of seeding and mulching,
Okay.
which was tomorrow's project. So,
How are we looking on that budget item?
On rentals,
Yes.
well,
that number changed this year too. I don't even know what that number is, I guess, without looking in
See,
there. 17? Does that sound right?
I don't know. I could pull the report out. and see.
Charlie, what did you say that was, the cost?
It's $1,850 for the week.
Okay.
It's
Budget.
$4,800 for the month.
we budgeted 12,000 for rental equipment.
And what are we at right now?
I will let you know.
While she's doing that, what do we rent? What other equipment are we renting?
Last year we did the roller late in the season to see if that helped with the roads through the winter. Other than that, nothing really.
Do you remember how much that was? It did
The
help,
roller,
right? Yeah.
Boy, I want to say it was about the same, between 4,000 and 5,000 for the month. We do rent like Kevin Morton's bale chopper for seeding and mulching because the micro seeder really doesn't work that
We
well.
rented a jumping jack before, hadn't
Yeah, we own one now, so we won't have to do that. But Kevin's bale chopper, we're storing it for him now for nothing, but it's $150 a day
Yeah.
when we use that. We mulched 100 bales with it one day the last time we used it, so not too bad.
Yeah.
it? Takes longer when you're all watching, you know.
Sure.
I know. Sorry. We can close our eyes. Look the other way.
So the hydro seeder is not working well anywhere, or should we sell it?
Yes.
Okay.
It didn't cost us anything. We got it on the grant, other than we bought an enormous amount of mulch.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to use it, and we bought the seed. The seed you would have bought anyways.
Right.
So
So
is
it's kind of a
It's
wash.
something we gotta
It just
store
doesn't
that's not
work as
effective.
well. Chester has the same one. They don't like it. It just seems like it doesn't take. I don't know why.
If we're not using it, and we don't have unlimited space over there anyways.
would we sell it or would it
Well,
Would we trade it
into the
in
one, you could
for-
trade it to the Finn company.
towards another or any other one? But I know that the Finn ones, I've heard the
Actual
Finn ones are
bale
really
chopper,
great ones.
Right.
And I'm wondering, could we get like pricing on that if we're renting something
Sell it.
or just out and out sell it?
Sell it.
And who would we sell it to? Just put it up for sale.
Advertising. I don't know.
Chester.
And
Social media.
Chester doesn't want one. What did we pay for it?
We got it on a grant. It was like $5,400. I think.
What do you think you could sell it for?
I have no
You have
idea.
no idea.
I have no idea.
1850.
Yeah, there you go. I bet we could get 1850.
So we can pay
Good one,
wires.
Chris.
Yeah.
Right.
We have this fiscal year spent $10,000 on rental equipment, our budget's 12. That said though, some of that will be, it won't show in that line item, but some of that is reimbursable through grants and aid because the rental excavator is one of the expenses we use toward
So
that grant.
one whole month I write off
Right.
on the grant reimbursement. And then as well as the hay chopper, the bale chopper, we have the 150 a day. That gets written off in the grant as well.
So how do you feel, Cord?
I think we're safe for another week.
Yeah.
Knowing that we really don't have any more though. I mean,
We should,
until we,
unless something
Get
crazy
reimbursed.
happens, another disaster or whatnot.
Oh, you can see.
Wow, it seems like they happen every other day.
So would somebody like to make a motion on that?
I'll make a motion that we rent the excavator an additional week.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else for?
Don't believe so.
Okay.
Haven't heard anything on the truck.
No?
Should have been built by now. When we get it and send it, know if it's 9 months, we give the body a file package, I'll put it on.
Wow.
And we haven't even received the truck yet, so
You know,
Junior's is holding up.
so far so good.
Knock on wood. Okay, so we'll move on to the MERP grant. We had a meeting with the entire group, from Shelley to the Historical Society, it's not Historical Society, but Historical Preservation,
Right.
the people involved in the MERP grant. And Rich took phenomenal notes because he's so good at that. And if you would like, I don't want to take over your notes because you did such a great job. How would you like to
Sure, I can,
surmise it? I have your
can
notes.
pull them up. You got them?
I do.
Okay.
Oh
So,
wait, I thought I did.
it was a good meeting.
It was a very good meeting. I agree. It went very well. And I really, once again, Shelley is quite phenomenal and is really working well for the town and understands small towns and what they need
Okay.
and what they don't. So here we go.
All right, my notes. So this is written on the day of the meeting. Today our meeting included Shelley from Architect, Doug Wells, who oversees the MERP project, Grace W., a MERP coordinator, Martha from Scutney, who we know very well, Megan Fuller, who is a grants management specialist, Will, who represents historical preservation, Robin, and myself. So that's who attended. Doug opened the meeting and expressed that it's his team's responsibility to make sure Andover's interests are understood as we review project plans and budget that changed from the initial plans. And he will need to convey the reasons for scope changes to upper management for discussion today. So earlier today, that was his responsibility. He expressed surprise that garage doors and other garage items didn't make it into the proposed modified plan. Shelley then walked through the spreadsheet highlighting changes from the initial proposal. In the office, Shelley championed gutters, downspouts, removal of basement insulation, which is causing spalling of the foundation, addition of basement dehumidification, and replacing the office ceiling to reduce air exchange to the attic, providing reasoning for each item. Everything seemed clear and reasoned, and no further clarification was requested. In the garage, Shelley demonstrated that cuts have to be made somewhere in the overall scope to meet budget constraints. I stated that the planned door opening with width increase and insulated garage doors would be a real benefit, but we have to cut somewhere, and the garage scope of work is proposed as the portion of the project to trim to make budget. There was little discussion of a pellet boiler. The team seemed to understand our reasoning. Town Hall. Shelley explained that to insulate the Town Hall ceiling, the insulation needs to be blown in by entering through the slate roof, which needs repair or replacement. Every opportunity to minimize the extent of roof replacement will be pursued. If the roof needed replacement, William indicated that metal roofing would be the least acceptable from a historic perspective, and a composite material could be considered as an option if it approximated the appearance of a slate roof. Ductless versus a ducted heat exchange system, heat pump system was discussed with no prohibition or pushback in choosing one over the other. Main floor insulation should be accomplished without breaking through the interior plaster walls for historic reasons. Since the exterior siding is not original to the building, entering the wall space to install insulation through the exterior is recommended. The meeting closed with no strong objections to the proposed scope revisions to allow us to make budget. Further discussions will be through email exchanges as needed, and now the MERP team will need to communicate the proposed scope changes as we see them now the reasoning to upper management for discussion, seeking approval.
And so then we got an email today that talked, they would like, the MERP program would like to know exactly what it is that we want and don't want on our scope of work. Is that the way you read the email as well?
Yes, and I also read that they are leaving the decisions primarily up to us.
So right now, this meeting, it's kind of important for us to go through, it is important for us to go through our budget and make some strong decisions on what we want and don't want. And one of the things that I am going back and forth with is there a way that we can also get our garage doors widened and our garage doors as well as other work that we need done? Because when you look at our budget here, maybe we can cut something else out and continue with both those. We'll cut out the pellet stove. We've already cut that out. Could we cut out, I don't know, let's throw out some ideas here and see what you all think. Is there anything? Could we go with, I gave you.
Yeah, I think I got it.
Oh, here, I have another one. Yes, Susan.
Can you just backtrack a little bit? My impression the last time I tried to understand this was that the state is not really letting us include certain things that we want, but yet the final thing is due August 13th. So did we ever get an answer as to about all this stuff?
That was
like
the meeting.
That was the
That was
meeting.
the meeting.
And they said we can do what we want? We can pick and
Well,
choose?
they said that they would like to know exactly what it is that we want. Let me,
So we can go for the moisture mitigation and all that stuff. It's and the gutters and all that stuff that we thought maybe we couldn't.
yes.
We can do whatever we want. Oh, that's amazing.
It is.
Okay.
It is. It went really well, and Shelley explained our position, but also in a building science manner.
Yeah, I understand.
Was able to, I just want to see if I can pull
okay.
up the email that we
So we can do
received
what we want.
today from
Okay.
where they requested, let's see. Follow up, okay. I had printed all this out. Okay, what they're asking, these are their follow-up questions from today, the MERP writers. It's Doug Wells at Vermont Gov. Andover can if Andover could let us know their final choices and items to pursue in the new Architect assessment. The changes in the priority can be documented in the grant scope of work. So we need to really decide what it is we do or don't want. No problem with the addition to gutters and decreased energy consumption in the dehumidifying system. I did not hear any objections from Will on approaches, only that we can't have a metal roofing. He said that just won't work, which, pretty much they surmised exactly what. Thank you very much, Rich.
Yeah, that's
You
amazing.
have great notes. He's great.
Yeah.
So
I'm a great stenographer.
you're awesome.
Can I ask you? So it said, did we actually get a state historic preservation grant of $40,000?
We did not, but we can apply for one.
So, and we can count our checks before they hatch?
That's a good question.
No.
I would say no, and I would agree with Chris that no, we don't.
Okay, so that's just a hypothetical.
Exactly.
So, kind of.
And it's a match. That's the challenge.
Yeah, I saw that.
But can
I was
we
gonna
use our
ask,
grant as
could the
the
grant be
match?
the match?
Could the grant be the match?
It can be?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's
That
a
was-
really good
that
question.
was a question.
We can ask that of Shelley because she understands the process
We don't
more
have
than we
extra
do.
grant money to match. so-
Right, we don't have the extra grant money. So,
Want to go line by line, or how do you, or if we're building by building, how do you want to do it?
well, How does everyone feel about that? Do you want to go line by line and cut things just like we do our regular budget, or do we want to start with our big ticket items and go from there?
I think we should go by the building, and just keep in mind our priorities, which were, I think they were this building, town garage, town hall last, right? Or is that changed?
It kind of shifted back
It
and forth
shifted.
with the garage and the town hall. Those are the two, so this one right here, I'm pretty solidified on what we're doing.
Okay,
I don't know
so
about
we don't need,
everyone else.
we can't take a, that's
Well, we
set in stone,
could,
yeah,
we could
but there's no
look at
reason
different
to.
things, but there's not, in my opinion, there's not a lot of reason to look at everything in the town office to cut, to cut out.
Okay,
I'd
so
rather
it's just
leave it
cut-
like
yeah.
it is and then hit that later
Yeah.
on if we need to.
I hear you.
This is the building we all access the most. So
Yeah.
are you all kind of on board with that?
I am.
This should be number one priority.
Right. So then if we go to the town hall and we go down through, we do have some choices on like, for instance, we have choices on the roof, whether we fix the roof, whether we replace the roof.
So on that one, we're not going to know today. So until they begin working the way Shelley explained it to me or to us, is that they're gonna make every attempt to reduce the cost. Especially with the roof. They wanna make sure the roof is functioning properly to drain all the water off the roof and do only the repairs or replacement that are necessary for them to get in through the roof and fix the existing slates that need repair. But the possibilities, there is a new slate roof item B, which would be 62,000, but there could be, and we don't know yet, considerable savings if Shelley's team is able to
Just repair the roof.
just repair the roof.
And there's also the option, so the metal roof is off the table, and that would have been the cheapest
Right.
option.
And that's because of the Preservation Society?
Preservation, yeah, that's,
And how much does the Preservation Society contribute to this?
We
it
could get a
doesn't, we
grant
can't,
for-
because it's a
for that.
historic building, we can't.
So who are these people?
They run,
Then they should fix their roof.
that's
Well,
not how it works though, I know, but it doesn't work like that.
so,
Really?
They have the ability to say to us
So
what we do.
because we have gotten you do get historical grants from them, so, which we may end up with that $40,000 historical grant. But with that,
Is this a Andover thing, or is this a
statewide,
Statewide.
statewide, any historical building, it's actually.
It's actually nationwide, right?
How did they change the outside siding?
They probably,
Well,
I
it was
don't know when
moved,
that
the building
happened, but-
was moved, maybe that's when it happened, I don't know the answer to that.
It
Well,
seems-
well, it seems to me that, we could just take off, I mean, it's not a safety issue that we need all the upgraded electrical panels and heat pumps and air conditioning and all that, and even roof insulation. Maybe we could just fix the slates, not do all those upgrades, just tighten up the envelope, like in the town hall, and that could save $75,000 maybe, I don't
and
know.
then put that towards
the
doors.
town hall, I guess.
Towards the
I mean,
town-
the town garage.
The doors and the,
I mean, the town hall, would be nice if it had all this stuff, but it's not a safety issue, right? I mean, the
it's not a
electrical
safety
panel,
issue.
we have a heating
If
system.
we do have, I understand with the town hall, and let me take a look here real quick, that we would need to upgrade our panel in the town hall to put in, say we went, instead of doing a floor system, a floor duct system, we went with a ductless system. That would bring down the cost if we indeed went with the heat pump still.
$11,000.
It would bring it down, yes, yeah, quite a bit. But we would still, so we could go that route and save ourselves $11,000.
But we could also just kind of not do a lot of that
Not even do the heat
insulation.
pumps.
Yeah, we could, why don't we just skip all that? Why don't we just tighten up the holes in the walls and do the ADA ramp or something
Mhm.
and just not, and
Right.
fix the slate roof and not start insulating it and everything. I
And
mean,
then move on to
and
the
move on
garage
to the
itself.
garage. But I think we should figure out how much more money we need for the garage,
For the doors.
for the doors,
For the doors.
to get what we need there, and then see how much, and then figure out what we could take away from the town hall to make that money.
To make it work.
And it says general conditions on here, is that just a buffer?
You know, that is a really good question, and I read this and I have completely forgotten what it is that the general conditions heading was under. And I'm sorry about that.
Can you help Robin with, under town garage B and C, there's new garage doors and openings and new garage door opening. There's
So-
two line items, and how are they different? Are they, both of them required?
I don't think the opening, I'm not quite sure if the new garage door and openings is for the larger doors and the other one is just to replace the doors and seal the openings that are existing.
Oh,
So we're thinking.
But I'm not positive about that because that was another question I had. And she did explain this all to us, but I don't remember word for word every single thing.
But possibly $50,000 would get us new garage doors with a wider opening.
With a wider opening.
it seems
If
like
we can
could-
find savings somewhere else.
Yeah, I think that would, I'd love to take it away from the town hall and give it to that.
If we are so fortunate as to reduce the slate roof in the town hall to say $10,000, then we have that money. Because that slate roof is listed at $62,000. So if Shelley and the team was able to do what they need to do to the roof for $10,000, we'd have $50,000. Right, Charlie?
So two things. They make a poly roof, so plastic slate appearance.
Okay.
Right.
I don't know what the cost is. Up close, isn't that wonderful? You know, people driving by, it would look like a slate roof. So if it keeps that sort of
Yeah,
historical
William mentioned,
appearance.
yeah, the Historical Society guy, I forget his last name, William, or Will, mentioned that there are composites, he said,
Yeah,
that
and they have some color variations.
that would
in
be
them.
acceptable.
Right.
Not preferred, but acceptable.
But we don't have a price on that,
We don't.
right?
We don't have a price on that. Charlie is absolutely right in that they don't have the character of it. I mean,
Yeah.
they're
Up
like
close,
vinyl
they
siding.
really look kind
They're
of cheap, for lack of
tacky.
a better word.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of that.
Yeah.
I know I'd rather replace the slate itself, patch it up.
I'd
as
rather
best
put
we
metal
can.
on there, but
Right.
that doesn't seem like it's gonna happen.
No.
So, I think we can only hope for the best on the roof. I think we
Right.
should keep it slate
And have them replace the tiles.
and do
Well,
do the
we,
best they can to
Do the best they
repair it.
can to repair it.
But I think we can definitely save $11,000 on that ductless over ducted
Mhm.
heat pump. I mean, I don't know why we couldn't knock that right out.
Right.
So if I'm reading it right, our grant's $499. Option A line totals up to $490. So we have $9,000 plus the 11. We're at 20 grand towards the doors. Is that correct? The way I'm reading it. If we go duct less
Yes,
or ducted.
you're reading it right.
Okay.
So, I don't know if it's best for us to meet with Shelley and say, these are, say, 4 or 5 options that the board is considering so that we could do the work on the garage doors. And then she might say, well, that one makes a lot of sense, that one
Right.
makes a lot of sense, this one just doesn't make sense.
yeah, let her decide, except we only
Well,
have 2
have
days.
input. Yes.
So on the doors, the width would be amazing if we could do that. Just so you guys have some more insight. When I talked to the overhead door contractor when he came, from an efficiency perspective, the existing doors are somewhere around like a 12 hour value. New doors are less than 18. So you're gonna gain a little bit, but it's not gonna be night and day, so there's not gonna be really any sort of heating savings just by changing the doors.
No,
All right, but it's gonna be better for you guys.
But it'll help, and
It'll help and you won't be
the
able
design of the new trucks, because as it is now, Josh can't have a exhaust guard on his truck because the wing won't clear the door, won't come in, so we have to take the guard off.
we kind of have to get the insulated doors if we're going to get the wider doors.
Yeah,
It's
exactly,
a package deal,
exactly.
kind of, you know.
And it only makes sense.
I just want to put out that it's not gonna be huge from a insulating.
Unless we look at it, and this is the avenue we went, that the doors won't have to be opened as much and shifting things in and out, in and out, in and out to get them all to fit in the positions that we need them to fit in there.
Yeah, we're pretty good at that.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's a really good point.
that was Rich's point. He came up with that. And it was-
Shut the door,
yes.
kid.
Right? Were you raised in a barn?
How we grew up.
I was.
I was too, I think. Most of the time. So, do we want to go down through line for line? Is that what we want to do? Or we start at the town hall? So the new attic door, do you want to start with A, the new attic door? We keep that on because it's relatively cheap and it's going to make a difference. She did say that would make a big difference. The new slate roof, we're hoping for repairs.
Right.
So we'll ask her about that. I don't know that she can give us an answer to that though, that's the only thing. The metal roof is off the table. Roof insulation. So the original building doing roof insulation, there's a couple different ways they said they could go with that, and it would be from above if they were to remove the entire roof. Or if I remember correctly, they can insulate it from the gable walls. Do you remember that? They would blow it into the soffits as much as they could, which is a cheaper alternative. Do you remember that?
I don't know there's an alternative. I think there's some that has to be done one way and some the other. I will mention that we're liable to lose the roof in the grant if we opt out of the roof insulation. Because,
That's where the heat goes.
well, Shelley wants it, but also one of the reasons that we're getting money for the roof is that we're going in through the roof to put in the insulation. Okay, so if we don't put in the insulation, they don't have to go through the roof. And there's less of an argument for the roof repair being funded by the MERC grant. So we're selling the idea that we need the new roof possibly covered by the grant because we need to go through the roof to get the insulation in. You take away the insulation, you lose the logic and you lose the repair to the roof.
Right. Is there, if we don't put a new roof though in and we try to insulate it like that, are we gonna run into moisture problems? Like, cause if they put a new roof in, they would put some kind of other barriers. I don't know. That's not it.
My question is that building probably can never get sealed so tight that we have to worry too much about that, but
Okay.
again, that would be a question for Shelley.
Okay, well, they're not gonna go along with it unless it's,
Because we can't replace the windows.
right,
The windows have to be glazed and we can't put new windows in there.
Yeah.
Here we can, there we can't. Because of this
yeah,
historical
but
preservation of
that, it would destroy the building.
No.
Well, it seems like Shelley could look at this stuff like what you just said and say instantly, like,
Would be able to pull up.
yeah,
do the math
she
for
could
us.
say what,
So, yeah, we've already cut quite a bit out of the town garage. Thankfully, the boiler's out, a few other things, but yeah, we need to come up with that $50,000 somehow.
So,
oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Wait,
Go ahead.
Is the lighting upgrades in the town garage, extremely important. I mean, it's only $8,000, but
What did we talk about the basement wall insulation in the town hall? Did we figure that we don't really have to do that? Didn't she say something that that's kind of an optional? And that's $27,000.
Yeah. I'd grab it.
Wow.
So let's come up with a list for Shelley. What's on our tentative list so far? That's the question. On our tentative list is possible roof savings, right? But that's not something that we can know yet. So it's town hall, item B. Roof. The next one we came up with was basement wall insulation, 27,000. So that's
Yes.
item J. Basement wall. We're going with the ductless heat pump to save $10,000. That is, we're choosing T instead of S.
Which is a big savings.
And so that would save us $10,000.
And the alternative, number 3, sub EDR ducted without duct heat pump. Is that what we just went through?
How, what is ERV?
So if we exchange something ventilation, I think, I forget what it is.
For the basement?
Well, we wouldn't need that if we had the ductless, right?
Right, if we have the ductless, we could potentially lose V.
Which would be another 5, 5.2.
Right.
Now, I have a question about AA.
Okay.
There really is no access for handicap at the front of that building anyways, and we will have it at the back with everything else. I mean, you have to,
Right.
if say it's a wheelchair, you have to wheel through the grass to get there. So I don't think we need that at the front if we have it at the back.
That's a really good point. I think it would really, just from a historical point of view, it would mess up how
That's
it looks.
$3,100.
I like that a lot.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
I didn't notice that. But that would destroy the integrity of that beautiful entry. And you don't need both.
So we're proposing to lose AA.
Yeah.
Which is 30,000.
3.1, yeah.
I mean, nobody even uses that end of the
As long as
building.
there's access from the back.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But it's not completely compliant. There's a step this high.
Oh, yes, but
Well, we
that's,
could get that
Well,
fixed.
Right, that's what I'm wondering, if
Yeah.
that's on the list
Well,
to fix
it's-
it
that.
is, it
The
is.
ramp is an ADA
Right.
ramp, so.
Yeah.
And then the rear entrance push door button, that's on there as well, so.
So if we have the back up to code, the front's for looks, then emergency escape.
So I also see here that it says ADA door hardware. Is that hardware for the front door or the back door?
Probably all the doors,
Probably all the
bathroom
doors.
doors, nothing has proper ADA hardware.
Okay,
Well,
bathroom grab bar, so we might save a little bit off the front door if that was.
Well, and don't
Unless
forget,
it was-
20% of that grant has to be spent on ADA upgrades.
Right.
Oh, so we might need, so we don't want to get, I mean, I was just about to question whether we have
Yeah,
room
20% of
to
it
do the
does.
push door
I
thing,
thought
but,
20% was the limit.
Oh, up to 20%
Up
of
to
it.
20.
Yes.
We have to do a certain amount of it. I
Right,
don't know
but I
what
thought
the
20 was the
minimum.
minimum, was the limit. I thought that was the upper limit. But we
Can't
can,
spend zero.
right. No, I know that, but I thought that was the upper limit.
20% is the
could
maximum.
we spend some of it on, does this need an upgrade, ADA? So we're gonna
It
spend
does.
some of it on here.
And we do have
Probably
ADA
on the
here.
list.
There's
Yeah.
a ramp,
There was
door
some-
hardware.
Yeah.
We have ADA
I think they took out
Ramp,
parking.
hardware,
So far I'm at 45,000. What do you guys at?
45,000.
Okay.
Because I didn't write it down.
Okay.
Well, I saw you writing it down, so I
Yeah,
didn't bother.
thank you. Well, that's a lot, and that's without any reduction on the roof.
Right.
does anybody remember what ERB stands for, new ERB? I guess we can look that up.
All right, let's see.
Do you remember off the top of your head, Jeanette, what ERB stands for?
Some kind of air circulation is what pops into my head, but so that like we don't die of carbon monoxide poisoning or carbon dioxide poisoning or whatever.
Energy recovery ventilator, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so J.
Because once we button the place up.
I guess we need to ask them the difference between B and C on town garage too.
Are you doing the math?
I'm trying. I'm not very good at it.
Oh, you're excellent at
I
it.
think you're really
That's
good
because
at
you want me to do it.
That's
Yes.
true too.
This
I'm
is
not gonna
true.
lie to you.
These
I
two
know.
things can be true, right?
All of the above.
Right, B was ERB ducted. First, if I had the spreadsheet in Excel, I could just pick
I have it on my computer, but it's not in Excel.
that. Right, so I'm at 43,000. And then if we lose AA, that is 3,166. 70. So far, we're at 46,681.76. If we remove,
If we hadn't just paid for them trees, we'd have the extra money.
town hall,
I signed the check, yeah.
item J, the basement wall insulation, we go with T instead of S in the town hall, which is, I believe, the ductless versus duct. We lose V, which is associated with the duct and heat pump. And we lose AA, we're at 46,681.76.
And we're looking for 50.
We're looking for 50.
And what about lighting upgrades in the town garage? Is that it? Oh,
Would you rather have doors or lights?
Doors.
is the lighting upgrade something that would help you much?
I don't. There was one time Skip had us take the bulbs down and clean them, and that helped considerably.
We've done it too. And we upgraded the lights to the high efficiency. They're not, I don't believe they're all the LEDs, some are, but they're high efficiency bulbs and then in the back.
I'm gonna propose that we cut the lighting upgrades in half.
And maybe just do them for the office. Where would you need them most?
Not in the office.
Not in the office.
No.
So from
Garage.
8,000,
We'll be in there very often.
we'll ask her to go to 4,000 on the lighting upgrades.
To
And
get-
then we will have money for the doors. If she approves of all these items.
Yeah, and then if we need more, we could just get rid of all the lighting upgrades if we needed another.
Candles are cheap, still cheap.
So that would be item town garage 3.
That's amazing.
So when you met with them and they talked about the doors, were they doing all the work? Or did we need to say hire, just throw a record pump,
So we
concrete
haven't
cutting
gotten
out
to
there.
that,
You haven't gotten
yeah,
that
we haven't
far.
gotten that far yet.
So that cost that you have is just
It's
doors,
what their,
essentially.
no, their estimate is to widen it and the doors.
Doors and opening.
Is the labor and the material, yeah.
But you don't know if they're doing it or we have to.
Well, they will be putting things out to bid and then we decide on who,
Gotcha.
we decide on the bids,
Yeah.
so.
So the prices could actually be more than what they're
They could be
quoting.
more or they could be less, you never know. And
So-
she said she's pretty spot on with, they have a lot of contractors.
I wanna
that
make
they
a
work
motion
with.
that we accept all of the different changes that we just came up with.
Okay, so let
And
me,
that Rich was so
yeah, let me
amazing
just
to write
elaborate.
down.
Let me just elaborate on it first so that we all know what we're talking about. If I
Right.
can find that piece of paper again. So, we're talking about removing the basement wall insulation from the town hall.
Town hall.
Feeling that what's upstairs is more important than what's downstairs, okay?
Correct.
So that is item J under the town hall. So 2J, we're talking about eliminating it. As we get down to T, S and T, we would select the ductless heat pump instead of the ducted pump to save us $10,000. That would allow us to lose item B, which is the ERV ducted with ducted heat pump for additional savings. And then we would lose AA, potentially if that's allowed, the ADA front entry guardrail and handrail, because we have access through the rear door. That's the justification for that. Then, as we move into the town garage, we're talking about adding B, new garage door opening, new garage doors and openings to the budget. That's the addition. And then cutting G, the lighting upgrades, from $8,000 to $4,000.
Correct.
And that total should give us, that would give us $50,681.76 for the garage doors, which would be over what it is.
Wow.
Perfect. And if that
Want
can't,
me to email you that so that you can
Please, and
talk to
I'm
Shelley?
not, I won't be here at the next meeting.
Right, but you can talk to her today, we have to decide, right? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow is,
DJ.
is it tomorrow or is it Wednesday? I think it's Wednesday.
I think it's
Wednesday.
I think it's 2 days.
Today's the 11th.
Wednesday, so I'm going, at that moment right there, I will be on a jet plane.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
You're leaving on a jet plane?
right, so is this something, right? Depending on how this goes, I might not come back.
There used to be a song about that.
Yep, there is, that's right in my head right now. So, anyways, no, this went really actually better than I expected right now.
These are great
And the meetings is, right.
savings.
So my motion, I made a motion.
Yes, I second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So with that meeting, and we're going to, just one more thing about this MERP so that we're clear. The meeting is on Wednesday. I will not be here.
Mhm.
Are you comfortable leading
Yeah,
that?
I can represent the town. I don't know about leading it, but I can represent Andover and the select board.
And I would make a motion that Rich sit in on this meeting and that he lets Shelley know our feelings and what we want to do. And
Yeah, I'll probably try to give her an advance notice before that, so it's nothing's new to her.
right.
She
she
can digest
can
it.
look it over and
Yeah.
give you some feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. And if you could just ask her what that general condition thing is.
Right.
There's a whole lot of money in there. We could,
Yeah, I think it's like
sure, it's just
that
in
you always
case.
have it's the in case.
But then they add a contingency 5% on top of that.
Right. Good.
So does everyone feel comfortable on the MERP and
Yeah.
closing this
Yeah,
discussion?
I'm
on the
really
MERP?
impressed.
Yeah,
Perfect.
You guys did great.
Okay.
seriously.
I would never be able to do this without Rich. He
I
has
would never be
been
able to do it without Robin.
huge, such a help on this. And really, actually, everyone involved, all the people, I can't say enough about everyone. I can go through the gamut of every
We
person.
chose a really good contractor.
Next, we're going to financial orders.
Yeah, they're all right in that green folder.
Yep.
I think it's the pink one.
I was gonna do that. I just had to stretch a little too far.
Well, I don't know if it's appropriate to ask this right now. Can I?
Probably not then.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know. I'm
Meeting
kidding. I don't know.
Well,
Whatever Susan
well,
starts
just-
with,
I
I'm
mean,
good.
We can't really afford to just have one meeting in August because you're gonna be gone. If we just feel like we want to, I mean, there's too much town, it's not a good idea to just have one meeting a
No.
month. Okay, that was my question.
Man,
Thank
that
you.
sounds great.
I was just asking.
Are we by statute required to have 2 per month?
No, but like,
No, not by statute, but it's what the board, when you have your organizational meeting in March, say that
We
you're
said we
going
were
to
gonna
do.
do.
yeah,
Okay.
If there was no business, but you just committed to these road people that you were
Yeah.
going to get back to them.
We did, didn't we?
Something to think about for next year. Some boards do take a little summer hiatus.
I think we did it once, maybe in December because of holidays. I'm not sure.
Holidays, yeah.
I'm just but technically, we could decide to not have certain things on the agenda until we had the full board, if we decided that.
Yeah, I'm thinking the next meeting will not be a big decision.
Be an informational meeting.
It'll be an
maybe.
informational meeting.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens.
What if we could rent like a satellite phone for Robin while she's.
I have one. It's not a satellite, but it's those walkie-talkies that usually work everywhere, they say.
All the rapids.
Yes.
Durham.
Which I was gonna
Cell
ask you
service.
about that.
You have to
Yeah.
have cell service.
No, you can get a chip for them, so
Really?
you don't have to have cell service.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
pretty convenient.
Yeah, I wondered if it would work in the areas that you had. No.
You guys still on financial stuff?
No, we're not. They're very expensive.
I need, no, not
But
those.
no, oh,
I need to order some carbide cutting edges for the grader, which we do a couple times a year. It's,
Only if you use them on my road.
120. I just graded your road not that long ago, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, and then it rained, right?
Really, it's
I
soft.
believe he said, I can't remember now, $1,200, I believe. We ordered them from Jack of all Blades. I ordered some back. Jeanette would probably know, but I'm not gonna make her pull them out. But back a while ago, because of the whole tariff thing, he gets them from Canada. He got 2 sets, anticipating we were gonna be ordering them like we usually do. And it's above our purchasing policy. So just trying to, so I'm not waiting for 2 more weeks to get stuff coming.
right, and that was something that we wanted to discuss. And I don't know, because we didn't add it to the agenda, can we, I mean,
Oh,
I guess
no.
right now we could, can we decide, Jeanette, help me out here with this one. Can we give him the okay to get the
Yeah.
blade
Yeah, we're
fitting
still
needs?
doing highway stuff.
Okay,
Okay.
so,
Highway
and,
garage is a general.
so can we also discuss our purchasing policy, or not, right now?
That you did not add to the agenda.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's add that to, can't add it to the
You
next.
can add it to the
agenda.
next one.
Sometime in September.
Why can't you?
Add it to the first one in September
Just
then.
whenever you can. I think
Yeah.
in a nutshell, we were just talking about
Yes.
$500 is kind of crazy nowadays.
Right,
I just got 100 bales of hay, it's $500. I got 4 bags of seed, it was $536.
99 bales next time, mister.
What's that?
99
No, I
bales next
stayed
time.
500. I went over on the seed.
Just kidding.
So
I gotta
yeah,
pay
it's
for
just,
my
it
hay.
just seems
Speaking
like
of hay.
I think it would be fine if I could be like, hey Robin, what do you think? Can I order these? But I don't want to put everything on her, and I think it has to go through the board.
Okay.
So
Make a
just coming
motion.
up with some sort of realistic number.
Yeah, I don't think we can go over the whole number thing, but if you want us to make a decision on the blades, I think we can do that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm just thinking of other
Okay.
stuff.
So let's
Right,
do
right.
that now, and then we'll add that to the agenda at a
Sure.
different time.
So I make a motion that we
Discuss.
approve the request to purchase blades.
Yeah, I second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Correspondence, we've already gone
We
through.
read it.
Yep. So,
I move that we close the meeting.
I have-
adjourn.
I have-
Oh,
Oh,
Right before we do that, we all got that email after the last meeting. Does anybody know who sent that?
No, and,
Comfortable. Someone
Yeah.
who's named comfortable.
and so my feeling on that, since you brought it up, is that if we receive an email that won't state who it's from, that we probably should just never mind it until they give their names, because
I agree.
it just, we don't know. And whether we agree with what they say or whether they don't, I won't answer them. Only because I feel like, you know, we all are with our names out there on the table. And I expect people to,
100% agree.
yeah,
I just,
do the same, so. And I understand, it doesn't mean I disagree with any of
No,
anyone's
not at all.
thoughts.
I'm not saying they were wrong or they were right.
Or they're right, I just, yeah, I would prefer people come. And I, yeah,
Back to your previously adjournment.
okay. Does anyone want to second that?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.